Hello, my name is James Innerdale, and this is the third in a series of 4 short videos from Wakefield Council to help you look after your historic building. This film covers the difference between traditionally constructed older buildings and more modern masonry buildings. Ensuring the external walls are in good repair is obviously essential to a building's structural integrity, as well as keeping the walls dry and the interior warm. Every building is going to be different in how it deals with the weather and sheds water from the wall surfaces. This will depend on its location, orientation, use of materials and finishes and detailing. Within the Westgate area there is stone and brick, both used, as well as render finishes and even some timber frame. A regular inspection of the walls of your building is therefore an important part of any good maintenance regime. Not only can it help to identify any relatively minor problems, such as failing pointing or erosion of the stone or brick, but it can also help identify and monitor more significant issues, such as cracking and structural movement. External walls can regularly be inspected from the ground. As with the inspection of the roof, the use of binoculars can also be useful for checking the condition at higher level. Working around the building, assess the general condition of each wall, looking out for signs of deterioration or movement. It's also important to understand that traditionally constructed solid walls manage moisture differently from modern cavity walls. When it rains, traditionally constructed walls allow the water to be absorbed by the permeable fabric, but then allow it to evaporate back out when the conditions are right. The idea of breathability. By contrast, modern cavity walls rely on the use of impervious materials, preventing moisture from penetrating the wall. More the idea of a waterproof wall, using cement mortars and renders. In traditionally constructed walls, the majority of the evaporation of the moisture occurs through the porous lime mortar joints. However, if these are repointed in impervious cement mortar, the moisture then looks to evaporate through the more pervious masonry, which can lead to increased erosion of the softer stone or brick. In the same way, a porous lime-based render allows the wall to breathe, absorbing the rain when it hits it, but then letting it dry out naturally. Such renders are also flexible and will accommodate movement in the wall, whereas hard, impervious cement-based render can crack and allow moisture in. If the moisture can't evaporate back out, it will accumulate behind, potentially causing problems with damp internally. After a general observation of the walls, begin a closer inspection. Starting at high level, take a closer look at the details such as parapets and copings. As you work your way down the wall, look out for and make a note of any problems for each section. Again, taking photographs or marking up a plan of the building can be useful tools and can help in monitoring if a problem is getting worse over time. Things to look out for include cracking, bulging, or leaning or other signs of movement. Damp staining, markings or salts on the walls may indicate issues with the roof or wall tops, flashings or weathering details, or the rainwater goods. Also look for cracked or missing pointing to the joints, cracked or hollow render, erosion or crumbling of the walling material, and loss or erosion of architectural detailing and features. If you are not sure as to the cause of the problem, seek further expert advice before arranging for the work to be carried out. At the base of the walls, check to ensure that the ground level is around 150 millimeters below the level of the internal floor. Ensure any ventilation grills or air bricks at low level are not blocked or damaged, and that they are free from any other problems. At the same time, check for any green algae staining, vegetation, or washed out joints at the base of the walls. These might suggest issues with drainage or surface water runoff. Remove plants growing on or close to the building if these are causing damage as well. Traditional lime renders can either be tinted or more usually finished in a paint finish that allows the render to breathe. Coating a render with a modern impermeable masonry paint will potentially trap moisture, leading to the failure of the paint finish as well as damaging the render. Peeling or flaking of the paint finish is usually an indication of water being trapped behind. Timber frame buildings also rely on the use of porous and flexible building materials to keep them dry. When problems occur, that's usually down to poor maintenance or unsuitable impervious materials and finishes or damaging alterations. Check for recent movement or distortion of the timber frame caused by the removal of frame members such as studs. Also closely inspect the joints for signs of beetle or fungal attack caused by entrapment of moisture, as their soundness significantly influences the frame's overall integrity. Also inspect the infill panels, and in particular their abutment with the frame, where the joint can open out, allowing water to get in. Thank you for watching this video, brought to you by Wakefield Council Upper Westgate Heritage Action Zone, in collaboration with Historic England. We hope you have found it useful. Be sure to take a look at our other videos in this series for more tips on how to maintain historic buildings.